Sunday, the thunder of death is out to destroy the Knight Rider.
Oh, my.
Michael and Kit face a killer copter.
Give me everything you got!
Knight Rider. Monday, in a daring rescue, Boone is paralyzed.
Boone!
There may be nerve damage.
Can his family help him face the future? Monday.
Coming up next year on Channel 5 News at 10, the two sides of the Chicago school talks not only cannot reach a settlement tonight, it appears they can't reach each other. One U.S. Marine is killed in Beirut, another wounded, and Marine officials say it's a deliberate attempt to get the U.S. into the war there.
In his commentary tonight, Jim Ruddle reveals that CHA head Renault Robinson made an inside deal with a security firm. And the mayor tonight goes to a unity dinner to mend some fences in the black community. Details on those stories and all the day's news next on the Channel 5 News at 10.
All over Chicagoland, get a load of the new 4x4 Chevy trucks at your Chicagoland Chevy dealers. A blockbuster bonus shipment of hard-working, easy-shifting 4x4s. Chevy S10s, Chevy K20s, and Chevy Blazers. Don't get stuck this winter. Get a blockbuster 4x4 Chevy truck at Blockbuster pre-winter savings. Now at your Chicagoland Chevy dealers. The guys with a blue bow tie.
There isn't just one reason the prices at Cub Foods are lower than the prices at a regular supermarket. There are thousands of reasons. Everything we buy in volume. So everything we sell for less. Cub Foods. More than you'd expect. For less.
Here's important news. Now, Diet Coke has NutraSweet, the new breakthrough sweetener for even more real cola taste.
Real cola taste with just 1 calorie. Living good with Diet Coke. Looking good with Diet Coke. Just for the taste of it.
Now, Diet Coke has NutraSweet.
Diet Coke!
Help school students with homework problems. Call the Chicago Education Corps.
Live on Channel 5, this is the 10 o'clock news with Ron Majors and Linda Youth.
Good evening. The Chicago Teachers Union and the school board are supposed to be negotiating at this hour, but it seems the two sides cannot find each other. They were supposed to go back into negotiations at 8:30 tonight. We find out what's been happening from Otis Buchanan in this live report. Otis?
Well, I think they can find each other if each side wants to find each other at this point. The Chicago Public Schools Board of Education is in executive session right now. They've been in executive session for several hours, obviously studying strategy that went on throughout the day. A negotiating session earlier today that went from 10:30 to 3:30. At the conclusion of that session, Vice President Jacqueline Vaughn talked with reporters.
They make you a new offer, Judge.
We have no comment on the details of negotiations.
Are you hopeful that something can happen this weekend or tonight? Do you expect
We're hopeful that our negotiations will be fruitful.
Are you pleased with the school board's response to your latest request?
We're pleased that we're back at the table negotiating.
Have they upped their offer to you?
I cannot tell you that.
The figures on the table when that meeting was concluded were the actual number 1% offered by the Board of Education to the Chicago Teachers Union. Since that time, however, the Board of Education once again has been in executive session. The union waiting for a call from them to find out what their next move will be. We're told that Union President Robert Healy is having his own private meeting with staff members and possibly other outside sources to get not only a recommendation but strategy himself to bring to the bargaining table. So at this point, the two sides have not been together since 3:30 this afternoon, but there is still the very real possibility that the negotiating session will indeed continue before the evening is over. Ron? Linda?
Otis, any possibility that if they reached agreement tonight there would be school on Monday?
Very definitely, because there would be plenty of lead time for the House of Delegates to get together, to cast their votes, and let the membership know what they have in hand and if, in fact, they want to go back. So with 2 days lead time on Monday, you could be rest assured there would be classes Monday morning, but they would have to come up with something either this evening or sometime tomorrow morning.
If they meet again at all. All right.
If they meet again at all, and we're trying to find that out.
Okay, Otis, thank you very much. In other news, the attack that killed an American Marine in Beirut today, Sergeant Alan Seufert, is part of a deliberate campaign to draw the United States into the conflict. That is the verdict of a Marine spokesman who was describing the killing of the 7th Marine to die in Lebanon this year. U.S. Marines know the sniper's favorite positions, high above their own around Beirut's airport. 25-year-old Sergeant Alan Seufert knew, even as he rode his Jeep on patrol, his job looking for unexploded shells. The sniper hit first. One Marine was struck in both legs, and then...
Approximately 40 minutes after that incident, another driver was coming along and was shot through the chest. And unfortunately, he died at the battalion aid station at the battalion landing team 1-8.
Back in Hollis, the suburb of Nashua, New Hampshire, where Seufert's mother lives, a former high school teacher remembered how surprised he was that the gentle young man enlisted in the Marines before he was out of school.
I've never known, I never saw Al to hurt anyone by act or by word.
Seufert's mother said she understood what motivated her son to join the Marines 7 years ago and volunteer for a second tour of duty in Lebanon. Well, President Reagan called Seufert's mother today to express his regrets to her.
And President Reagan's special envoy to the Middle East, Robert McFarlane, is reportedly the leading contender for William Clark's national security post. UN Ambassador Jeane Kirkpatrick tonight is being considered as the other top candidate. Clark replaced Secretary of the Interior James Watt, who resigned. Walter Mondale got another boost tonight in his bid for the Democratic presidential nomination. This boost came from State's Attorney Richard Daley, who pledged his support during a party for Mondale's wife Joan on the near north side. Now, earlier today, the hierarchy of the Illinois AFL-CIO endorsed Mondale and announced formation of a committee of 300 labor leaders throughout the state to help Mondale secure the nomination. Local party chairman Ed Badoliak was said to be delighted by the AFL-CIO move and said he'll add that to the county organization's planned endorsement of Mondale later this month. Mayor Washington was the star attraction tonight at a fence-mending dinner at a downtown hotel. That story from David Kohler.
Tonight's dinner at the Conrad Hilton cost $100 a plate, and its theme was unity, a theme which seemed unlikely for at least two of the participants only a few months ago. Unity was not the byword last July when Mayor Washington backed Charles Hayes in the Democratic primary to fill his 1st District seat in Congress. Hayes won, provoking the man who had hoped for the mayor's support, Lou Palmer, to charge Washington with the old guard's politics as usual.
And I stood in despair while the sound and the crunch of the wheels of a new and more ominous machine rolled against us.
Tonight, a mellower Lou Palmer interrupted his fruit cup long enough to say the fences are mended.
Well, I felt rolled over then. Time passes. Time heals many wounds. This is a unity dinner, and I'm here.
Mayor Washington, however, still had politics on his mind. He lashed out at Alderman Edward Badoliak.
But never, under any circumstances, can I forgive high people in high offices who have the power to manipulate and move. I can never forgive anybody for fomenting racism in this city. Badoliak must go, or black people cannot support the party. Yeah, he must go. He must go. He must go. He must go.
At the Conrad Hilton, David Kohler, Channel 5 News.
Some of the backroom deals cut by former CHA Chairman Charles Swibel were often the targets of criticism by board member Renault Robinson. In his commentary tonight, Jim Ruddle reports on some of the deals cut by current Chairman Robinson.
Renault Robinson, the Shah of the CHA, runs things to suit himself. He doesn't let trifles like the CHA board get in his way. He ignores the board, hires and fires, spends CHA money, cancels and lets contracts. One of his cohorts, board member Leon Finney, says Robinson doesn't always have time to get competitive bids. He's working in a crisis mode, says Finney. One crisis was that Robinson decided to get rid of a security outfit called Triad. That meant he had to find somebody else, right? But he already had somebody standing by. Somebody had already drawn up a contract to do business with the CHA, the Digby Detective Agency, run by longtime Chicago policeman Robert Digby. The agency is located at 68 East Cermak Road, which is also the address of Catfish Digby's restaurant. Digby had proposed to Robinson that his firm provide the necessary services, and there's plenty of security for Digby in the wording. The detective agency would get time and a half for each guard working more than 40 hours a week. That's an open-ended opportunity. Should a Digby guard have to be a witness in court, the CHA would pay double time with a minimum of 3 hours for each appearance. There'd be 7 holidays at double time, and taking no chances, Digby would be paid every 7 days. But when we asked other people about this kind of a deal, they either whooped with laughter or said things like, "Wow, Digby could be a millionaire in a few years." There's no Freedom of Information Act at the CHA. People won't talk about the contract or its provisions for Digby. Digby's people are on the job, however, and Triad is out. The board didn't act on the Digby proposal. Under Robinson, the board isn't asked. Robinson's out of town, so is board member Earl Neal. Leon Finney won't return phone calls. The CHA's Director of Information was out of her office all day. The CHA Legal Department says call purchasing, but the guy at purchasing who's supposed to know, he's off for the day, and Digby won't discuss it. It's a good thing we finally got an open administration.
Still to come tonight, a federal judge rules parts of the Illinois abortion law unconstitutional.
And People's Gas is asking for a rate hike that could cost you about $10 more each month.
This week at Dominic's, use an in-store coupon to save 60 cents on a gallon bottle of delicious Heritage House milk, skim, 2%, or homogenized through Wednesday at Dominic's.
United Airlines presents daily service to Hong Kong and daily service to Tokyo. With 7 flights a week to Hong Kong and 7 flights a week to Tokyo. With United's all-new 3-class Royal Pacific service. United Airlines to Hong Kong and to Tokyo. Fly a friend to the Far East.
The night janitor at WFYR eyes the microphone. A fantasy forms.
WFYR.
Broadcasting from atop the world's tallest building.
Solid gold Saturday night.
You can do magic.
One great song
Longer than
after another.
ladies. You don't bring me flowers anymore.
More of the best music.
WFYR.
The great cars of Europe priced far out of reach until now. Renault presents the road to affordability. Renault Alliance, Motortrend's 1983 Car of the Year. Twin coaxial torsion bars for a smooth, quiet ride. Fuel efficient, fuel injected. European technology that's affordable. $59.59. Renault Alliance, built in America.
The one to watch, the one to watch, the one to watch.
Renault.
It's happening this Saturday only at Wick's Furniture. It's Wick's huge 12-hour sale. Saturday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., 12 hours of fantastic savings. Save up to 50% on bedrooms, living rooms, dining rooms, and more. Plus, make no payments and pay no finance charges till February of 1984. Special bonus, save 50% on this oak dining set that opens to a full 66 inches. Regularly $299.95, now just $149.88. That's half price. Remember, no payments and no finance charges till February of 1984 during Wick's 12-hour sale, Saturday only.
Chicago Federal Court Judge Charles Kokoris today declared unconstitutional several major provisions of the Illinois 1979 abortion law. And Judge Kokoris also permanently enjoined the state from ever prosecuting anyone under those provisions. Found unconstitutional are provisions that doctors had to inform women that fetuses felt pain during the abortion. That married women had to consult their husbands before having an abortion. Minors had to consult with their parents. And that the state had to be sent forms identifying women who had abortions. ACLU attorney Lois Lipton said tonight that was an invasion of privacy.
Were found to be an unwarranted interference with the privacy of the woman's decision-making. Some of the provisions were found unconstitutional as a violation of her right to make this decision in private. In other words, the reporting requirements actually made it possible for the public to ascertain which women had obtained an abortion.
And from the pro-life camp, spokesperson State Representative Penny Pullen had this statement on Judge Kokoris' ruling, and we quote, This is an opinion of one judge. Anyone that can read will find that the constitutional right to abortion is a myth.
And there's a new law tonight. It's now a major federal crime to tamper with food or drugs. President Reagan signed that bill today as a result of the Tylenol murders in Chicago last year. The new law carries a maximum sentence of life in prison and a $100,000 fine. People's Gas confirmed today it'll seek a $104 million rate hike from the Illinois Commerce Commission. That announcement sparked a demonstration by community groups at the Pick Congress Hotel, where Congressman Tom Corcoran, a Republican from Geneva, was speaking. Corcoran is a sponsor of some federal legislation that is designed to lift price controls from natural gas.
Because they want to stay rich and they want us to stay poor. I can't see any other reason. And I think it's a bunch of greedy people do not have enough respect and love for the city that's going down the drain to try to help them up. I mean, what are we here for?
We're doing everything we can to control our costs, but nevertheless, we have felt the impacts of inflation. We had a totally inadequate rate order in December, and if it had been adequate, more reasonable, we would be able to stay out for a longer period.
People's Gas says it needs an interim rate increase right away before the ICC rules on the full increase.
The first steps are being taken to form a municipal utility to sell electricity in LaPorte, Indiana. Some city and industry officials feel that the rates charged by the Northern Indiana Public Service Company are too high. NIPSCO recently raised those electric rates in that area by 20%. British Cabinet Minister Cecil Parkinson today resigned over a sex scandal involving his former secretary. A London newspaper published an interview with Sarah Keyes in which she said she is pregnant with Parkinson's baby and that he twice promised to marry her. Parkinson is married and the father of 3 daughters.
Still to come, we'll have Jim Tilmon with a slightly warmer weather report and a look at what appears to be a kind of heavenly hockey game.
Of all the people who board planes, one is known as the airline's toughest critic, the business traveler.
Dear Republic Airlines, I've flown your business coach over 50 times in the last year, and your employees continuously display an individual interest in each passenger.
The service I received was superior to first class on other airlines.
Thanks for treating me like a human being.
Every year, Republic gets thousands of letters that really say the same thing. Nobody serves our Republic like Republic.
If you have the dubious honor of telling your boss the copier's broken, and you do anything to avoid facing him, the copier is broken. Tell your boss about Panasonic copiers. Advanced electronics help prevent breakdowns. The magnified toning process makes great copies. Great enlargements, great reductions, too. So tell your boss it's time for a Panasonic.
See Panasonic copiers at Modern Business Systems in Broadview.
Serve a meal in minutes and save with help from Jewel. Start with Weiler's sugar-free drink mixes. A 69-cent package makes 2 delicious quarts. Create quick-to-fix side dishes with Betty Crocker's specialty potatoes, only 75 cents a box. And make your main course everyone's favorite. Fried chicken made with Jewel whole fryers, only 39 cents a pound. Meal planning's a breeze with values like these through Wednesday at Jewel.
Buick introduces a car born to celebrate excellence, the Century Olympia. With lines sleek and aerodynamic. The insignia, distinctly Olympic, proudly American. Experience the front-wheel drive Century Olympia now at your Chicagoland, Northern Indiana Better Buick dealers. And get a special Olympic option package at no extra charge. The proud Century Olympia from Buick, official cars of the 1984 Olympics.
Wholesale prices went up 0.2% last month. That is a statistic that analysts say means the recovery is continuing without increasing inflation to a dangerous level. Food costs led the increase, in large part due to crop damage that was caused by the summer drought.
A bit chilly in Chicago today, but we shouldn't complain. There's a hurricane headed toward Hawaii. There are snows in the mountains of the west. It's going to be 70 here tomorrow, so no problems at all.
Yeah, we're in pretty good shape by comparison with a lot of other folks. Indeed, we do have some rough weather out to the rest of us, but let's look at what we had in Chicago. 58 degrees today. It really was a fairly nice day. The records don't really show just how nice it was. At this moment, though, our temperatures are 40 degrees at O'Hare, 46 at Midway, and 51 degrees at Chicago's lakefront. The barometer's rising, 30.15. The humidity, 70%. The wind southwest, now very gentle, 6 miles an hour. Raymond, a hurricane, a real hurricane, 165-mile-an-hour gusts, and Hawaii sits right here. You can just barely make it out. Is moving just to the south of the island right now. Now, this is a close-up picture that just came in. You can see this immense storm. If this storm covered the Hawaiian Islands, you wouldn't even be able to find them on satellite photography. It is moving so close, though, that even if the eye doesn't cross the southernmost part of the island, it will certainly create some real problems for our friends in our 50th state. We do have some clouds across the southeastern quadrant of the mainland, and we do have some more clouds out to the north and the northern Great Plains. These are the ones that represent the shower activity that you see here on radar. And that shower activity has been moving about like this throughout the day. You can see how it's been going more north than east, and that's very important for us. We may get clipped by a little bit of that on tomorrow night, but for the most part it's going to be very nice in Chicago tonight. A few clouds near 40 degrees, southwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Now, our temperature band does show that the freeze line is going to be taking over the northwestern quadrant of the nation. We'll still be in pretty good shape. As a matter of fact, 70 degrees thereabout for most of the area for tomorrow. And we'll be getting that all because we're on the backside of high pressure as it moves slowly to the east. We may get a little shower activity during the night as cooler air does invade the area. Some sunshine then tomorrow. Showers could be here late tomorrow night. A warmer day, though, a high of 70 degrees, a beautiful day. Southeast winds 10 to 20. Clearing skies on Sunday, a little cooler with falling temperatures starting out about 66 degrees, south winds 10 to 15, and a cooler week for next week. And here's hoping that Raymond stays away from Hawaii.
You covered the hurricane, the snow, the sun. You forgot the big weather story in Boston.
Oh.
Hockey game delayed by the fog indoors in Boston. Actually, while rather eerie, it's not all that uncommon this time of year. The cause is too much heat and humidity outside gets into the building when the fans arrive, and then the cold air comes up off the ice and you get fog. Delayed the game an hour, Boston.
Chet Coppock will be with us after a break. He'll talk to the Bears' Bob Thomas about his explosive coach,
and we'll take a look at what some may think is the only way to fly.
Ron, I saw that.
Where do great Americans get higher interest?
At Provident Federal. And that's no lie.
Higher interest at Provident Federal Savings, a division of Great American Federal.
Who has the personal computer with the sharpest color graphics?
NEC and me.
And the personal computer that works with every major mainframe?
NEC and me.
And word processing that helps this reporter meet important deadlines?
NEC and me.
Who's got the APC Advanced Personal Computer?
NEC and me.
And me.
And me.
Pull over, Chicagoland. Get a load of the new Chevys on the block. Now at your Chicagoland Chevy dealers. Blockbuster cars like the front-wheel drive Chevy Celebrity and Chevy Cavalier with a blockbuster starting price of $62.22. Plus the new '84 Chevette, Corvette, Caprice, Camaro. Blockbuster cars, blockbuster deals. At your Chicagoland Chevy dealers. The guys with a blue bow tie. When the question is, what to serve? Count on Jewel for the answer. Planning a party? Fill your punch bowl with Minute Maid orange juice. Only 99 cents a can. Watching football on TV? Serve assorted varieties of Celeste Pizza. Get 2 for $5.50. Got a hungry crew for dinner? Bring on Jewel's variety pork chops. Only 99 cents a pound. We have the answers and the savings through Wednesday at Jewel.
I need it tomorrow. I don't care what it costs.
I need it tomorrow.
Business people under pressure to get urgent packages fast.
I don't care what it costs.
Often act without thinking.
I need it tomorrow.
But now, UPS Next Day Air gets it here in the morning for about half the cost. Just think, up to 50% less than the competition.
Sure, I need it tomorrow. But I do care what it costs. Send it UPS Next Day Air.
UPS Next Day Air. We save you money from the ground up. Now with morning delivery.
Chet Coppock is here. Game 3 is history.
Game 3 is history. Joe Altobelli buys the beer. Thank you very much, Linda. How you doing, everybody? Game 3 of the 80th Classic in the book. O's show some real guts at the vet tonight, rallying to beat Baltimore, or Philadelphia, rather, by a final of 3-2. Pick it up for you with Pete Rose on the Pines. Charlie Hustle, exiled tonight, said he was shocked and embarrassed. Philadelphia half of number 2. Gary Matthews takes Mike Flanagan downtown with a round tripper by the 371 sign. Philadelphia led 1-0. in the third. How about this for some strong defense? You're going to see the ground ball by Rick Dempsey. A great stop by former Cub Ivan De Jesus. Turns it to Joe Morgan. The relay to Perez for a double play. In the Philadelphia half of number 3, little Joe Morgan, little Joe with his second home run of the series, gave Philadelphia a 2-0 lead, but the Orioles are not dead. In the Baltimore half of the 6th inning, Dan Ford, facing lefty Carlton, hit a home run to cut the gap down to Philadelphia 2, Baltimore 1. Then in the 7th inning, Baltimore scores twice. Benny Ayala with a hot shot past Mike Schmidt at third base. That scored Dempsey to tie the ball game up at 2. Big play here, Ford with the ground ball. The boot by Ivan that allowed Ayala to score. Orioles win by a final of 3-2. There it is. There is the final. Baltimore now leads the series 2-1. Storm Davis against John Denny in Game 4 tomorrow. Kansas City headaches continue. Former Cub outfielder Jerry Martin pleads guilty today to attempted possession of cocaine. He could receive 1 year in jail or a $5,000 fine. His teammates Willie Wilson and Willie Mays Aikens pleaded guilty to similar charges yesterday. Don't be surprised if a few more Royals or ex-Royals get hung out to dry before this scandal is over. Now, pro football is Sunday pick. I hate to do it to you, Mike. I like the Lions over the Bears by a final of 24-14. Terry Schmidt on the corner. Jay Salty, the tight end, will not play due to injury. There is a long shot chance that Gary Fensick will play a couple of downs. Bob Thomas, with no injury problems, will handle PATs and field goals. Mongo McMichael will do the kickoffs. Earlier, Bob had time to talk about Coach Mike Ditka.
Mike came out and told us that he's an emotional guy, and he said he's not even always happy about the way he acts on the sidelines. And I think that once somebody tells you that you have to be mature enough to realize that now it goes on you. You know, if he gets emotional on the sidelines, you have to be mature enough to let it go in one ear and out the other and realize that he's in the heat of battle and it's just a personality trait and not let it affect your performance.
So grab your checkbook. Here are Coppock's college choices tomorrow. It's going to be New Year's Eve in Champaign. The Buckeyes are a 4-point choice. Forget it. Their defense is too tough for Ohio State. Maybe Michigan will get the 4th team in by halftime. Jerry Faust has a much-needed patsy. And our record to date, Ron Majors, would you believe that we are 12-3 right now? So how come my checkbook won't balance? On the Marcus Dupree merry-go-round, Dupree now indicating he will attend Southern Mississippi College. He is definitely through with Barry Switzer and Oklahoma. High school grid tonight, a couple of unbeatens met in the area. Downers Grove and Glenbard, 2 good-looking football teams in action this evening. We're going to pick it up for you in the third quarter. This is Bud Stefani throwing 25 yards for Glenbard to All-State candidate Andy Andresic. Glenbard then drove it home. The game is still in progress. We do not have a final, at this moment. The nomadic Chicago Bulls and Kevin Lockery took the road show into Cedar Rapids, Iowa tonight. Bulls knocking off Phoenix by a final of 98-87. There's the rookie Mitchell Wiggins. Looks good from 18 feet. Paul Westphal, the former Phoenix Sun who left to join the Knicks, back in action, scores in the backdoor play. Bulls now 3-1 in preseason play. We'll be in Pontiac, Michigan in the Silver Dome on Sunday for expanded Bear coverage. All you people have a good weekend. You too, Jim, Ron, and Linda.
Thanks, pal.
12-3 on your pick.
12-3. We may never pass this.
Does that mean this is not the kiss of death for the Lions that you picked them to?
I guarantee if Illinois doesn't win that, I'll do the show standing on my head. But not in this decade.
He was 12-3 and puts the jinx on. Finally tonight, a special travel note for beautiful people. The new way to fly from Los Angeles to New York is, look at this, aboard Regent Air. You may even want to reserve the private compartment with your own private washroom and private seats that convert to a double bed. Of course, lobster, champagne, caviar, hairdresser, onboard secretary, and free limousine service at both ends of the flight, Los Angeles to New York or vice versa. How much? As J.P. Morgan said, if you have to ask, you can't afford it. No, it's $3,200 approximately round trip. That is 10 times as much as you would pay on a no-frills flight. I won't be on that one. That's the news this Friday. Have a good weekend.
Thanks for joining us. Good night, all.
Be there for The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson next.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, presenting the one, the only, Circus! Now at the Roseland Horizon, coming to the Chicago Stadium.
Carson's store-wide anniversary sale, a celebration of top-level looks, elegant or casual, 27 to 37% off. Classic standouts in misses and junior corduroys, 25 to 28% off. Tri-blend slacks for men, 25% off. And handsome button-downs, now 30% off. Carson Peary Scott & Company's anniversary sale. It takes the cake.
The Video King, the largest video dealer in the Midwest, offers you factory direct prices. Now at every one of our 13 locations, we're offering our lowest factory direct prices on the widest selection in Chicagoland. Thousands of video recorders, TVs, computers, disc players, big screen TVs, and video cameras, all at outrageously low prices, including Sanyo VCRs reduced to $369.88, Atari 1200 computers $247, Magnavox big screen TVs $19.88, and RCA 25-inch consoles $498. Only at the Video King.
Handgun Control, City Desk, Sunday morning at 10:30.